Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Irrelevant Sports. This is the second episode, and we are talking about bowl games and all of college football games that are currently happening. We're about halfway through, I think, with most of the bowl games. So we're going to talk about all of them and predictions and everything like that. But I am joined here with Sam, and Jackson was on here, but don't know where he just went. So
Yep. I don't know where he went, but
so
he's
Sam
probably
can
gonna get back
just,
on soon, I guess.
yeah, you can just give like a little intro to who you are.
Yeah, so my name's Sam Chierici. I'm a senior at USC, avid college football fan, below average college football better, but that's all right. And then, yeah, me and Jackson watch a lot of college football together, so we have an idea of what's going on in the bowl games.
No,
I
I'm
just
not.
see a little grin.
Can you guys hear me?
You just keep cutting out.
What do you mean
really
it's frozen?
You're on 2G.
I am on 2G.
All right, let's just get started.
Okay, Jackson can just give his intro later. All right, so the first bowl game
go
was the
upstairs.
Bahamas Bowl. Oh. It was the Bahamas Bowl on, I think, the 16th, and it was UAB versus Miami, Ohio. 24-20, UAB won. I mean, I predicted UAB to win.
Watch that whole game at work.
Yeah. That one was just like, it was a lot
Watched every
closer than
minute.
I expected.
Miami had a last minute drive, and they could have won. They got stopped in like the 1 yard line. Good for UAB because good momentum with Trent Dilfer coming in to take over the program next year. But Miami, Ohio kind of choked it. But at least they got to go to the Bahamas.
Yeah, that's so true. And it was like an early bowl game, like they're done. That's nice. Like pretty much a lot of college athletes want the early bowl games unless it's like the big bowl games because then they're done and they don't have to practice.
Mm-hmm.
The next one that we
It would be
had,
tough if they had finals, though. But
yeah, but also it's like UAB. Like I feel like their finals aren't super challenging. I don't know.
No, you just have to show up.
Yeah. And then we have the Cure Bowl, which was Troy versus UTSA. I support Troy because my friend goes to school there, and Troy won 18-12. So, I mean, I wasn't upset about that one.
UTSA's quarterback got hurt like halfway through the game. I was rooting heavily for UTSA because of financial implications I had on them. It fucking sucked. Sorry, can I swear on here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably not.
I'll try not to.
No, you can.
UTSA's quarterback was hurt. He was also 27 years old. I don't know how you're still in college at 27, but whatever. He's coming back for another year of eligibility, his 8th year, after being 2-time redshirted, COVID year, and an injury year.
So he'll be 28?
I'm going to bite my tongue about this.
28, yes, next year.
Yeah,
He's a lefty. I can't remember his name.
this is one of those games that I really know nothing about, but I think the Roadrunners is a sick name. Very underrated.
But they lost.
I know, right? Yeah, they lost the Trojans, also a good name.
All right, the next bowl. This one was actually like a really good bowl. It was Fenway, Cincinnati versus Louisville, and all my friends are like from Louisville, and so all of their friends go to Cincinnati or they go to Louisville. Like there's no in between. So it was a good rival game without it having to be a rival game. And for it to be a bowl game, Louisville ended up winning 24-7, which I was like so surprised by. I'm not gonna lie. I had my money on Cincinnati, but
Well, the coaching carousel in that game, Satterfield was the former head coach at Louisville. And after Luke Fickell, former coach at Cincinnati, left for a Wisconsin job, Satterfield took the job at Cincinnati. So he didn't coach either team, but it was the first time like a coach left one team in a bowl game for another team in the same bowl game. And it was very awkward because there's only one sideline in that game. So they were both in the same sideline. That says a no love lost between those two teams game.
When did that
Jackson's up.
coaching change happen?
Like the week before the game.
Oh, so they knew the game plan, is what you're saying.
Yeah, no, that was kind of a shady move by Satterfield, but Louisville fans were pretty happy on Twitter that he's gone. He runs a pretty crappy offense.
yeah. Well, that makes a lot more sense now because Louisville like killed them and they weren't supposed to, I feel like.
Yeah, I guess Louisville was pretty salty that their coach left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have the Celebration Bowl in Atlanta. Jackson State versus NCC, which this was Deion Sanders' final game with Jackson State, and it ended up being 41-34 in overtime. And I watched this game. I have never been so pissed in my life because Jackson State really. Oh my God! He literally dropped the ball. It was in his hands.
How do you have a white kid drop the ball? The one white kid on the team.
I know. I literally was like, he's gonna have to transfer.
In the celebration,
yeah, like
he was crying after the game, and then Deion came up to him.
He's gonna have to transfer. He's gonna get bullied out. Like literally, the one white kid.
I think
that he could have won the entire game or tied it up.
No, I was saying I think I saw that clip of him going up to Deion Sanders going up to him after the game and saying something that it was like the whole team's fault or whatever. I didn't really see the play, but the player looked really upset in the locker room. Whatever happened.
Yeah. All right. What other bowl games? That Saturday was a pretty crappy slate of bowl games, though.
Yeah.
The whole day was pretty bad.
The Jimmy Kimmel LA
This
Bowl.
one was.
Yeah, Florida sucked. Florida did not want to go there. They got blocked. They played terrible.
30 to 30.
It just like they just didn't want to be there. Yeah, they didn't want to be there. Not much you could say about a team that doesn't want to be at the bowl game.
Well, we were predicted for a while to be in that bowl game. And it was like an early bowl game, whatever. But genuinely, I think that if we had gone there, half of our players would have ended up in jail.
I'm not going to speak on that. I don't know. I hope they wouldn't have.
I'm just like, I think like any SEC team going to Vegas, like they have time where they can be out and do whatever they want to do. Like in Charlotte, they did their own thing when they went last year. But it's like, if you're in Vegas, what else are you going to do other than gamble and like go crazy?
Yeah, no, I don't know why they would. I get why they weren't getting up for the game, and that was big for Oregon State there. They had a pretty good season this year. Happy for the Beavers. All right.
Then we have the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl, which him sponsoring a bowl game.
Can we just sign out real quick? When did that happen? How is it the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl?
I don't know. Well, there's a Barstool Bowl that we'll talk about later.
Mac versus Mountain West in that game. But yeah, I didn't watch a second of the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl. It was on Saturday night.
That's a ridiculous name.
There was NFL on instead of a like really bad bowl game. I watched NFL instead.
Yeah, well, Fresno State won 29-6 over Washington State. It's just like, how are some of these teams just demolishing? I don't know. That was like a whatever bowl.
It's a matter of who wants to be there and who doesn't,
Yeah.
in
Also,
my
like,
opinion.
because it doesn't really mean anything. Like, I guarantee, like, a lot of these players don't want to get hurt. Like, they don't want to, like, risk their college career in a game that doesn't really mean that much compared to, like, the regular season when they can really, like, show off against, like, competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Then we have the Lending Tree Bowl. Southern Miss won 38-24 over Rice.
That was a close
Don't really.
game. Not too bad.
I don't have much to say other than I hate Brett Favre. He's a Southern Miss alum. Stole money from the poor, and he was a Green Bay Packer.
He's also famous for coming out of retirement. I like that.
Then we have
All right.
New Mexico
Yeah,
Bowl.
Southern Miss cleaned him up.
SMU
Who
over
watched that game?
BYU. I mean, it was a 24-23.
I want to say something.
I mean, Tanner Mordecai, the quarterback for SMU, had a really good year. Like, there was one game he threw like 9 touchdowns in, which is pretty sick. I just remember seeing that on SportsCenter, but I have no input on this game.
I do. BYU is not the same without Zach Wilson. They're actually better.
The Frisco Bowl, Boise State over North Texas. Boise State won by 3, 35-32.
Over
Yep.
North Texas.
That game happened.
Yep. that was there.
Who decides the bowl games? I guess is that what I'm saying? Like, how do these teams decide like who plays who? Is it a committee?
They get bid on. So there's conference tie-ins for every bowl game, and then the rest is just like bidding. Like the like bowl game with the most money picks their best teams, and it goes down from there.
Got it. So like, how does North Texas end up playing Boise State? It's pretty much those teams just bid into that.
Yeah, no, they just got picked. It was
Okay.
probably one of the last picks you can get because it was a conference tie-in game.
Okay.
But-
Yeah, I was gonna say because they're two smaller teams and schools.
Yeah.
What's next?
For that, like for Boise State, I realized they're in the 2 bowl games away that I'll talk about. Their field is literally blue. I had no, like, why is their field blue?
She's
like-
talking about Idaho. I used to watch them when they Kellen Moore. They're elite back then.
All right, so Myrtle
I know nothing about Boise.
The Myrtle Beach Bowl was Marshall and UConn.
Wait, Marshall, UConn?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the governor's battle. So the governors of those 2 states bet on Twitter. The governor of Connecticut bet the governor of West Virginia a blanket that said UConn on it. If UConn lost, he'd give them the blanket, and the West Virginia governor offered a vase that said Marshall on it, and it was one of the most meaningless governor's bets I've ever seen in my life. Because who actually watched that game? You have to be a sicko to watch that. That's a sicko bowl game. So
The sicko bowl game.
Yeah,
And
governors
it's like-
used to duel. Now they're giving away blankets on Twitter. It says a lot.
All right, then we have the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, San Jose State versus Eastern Michigan, and I had San Jose State winning. Eastern Michigan won 41-27. I'm not even gonna lie, I watched this bowl game at work. And the
can't
only
say the
thing
same.
I was by was the blue field. That was all I could talk about.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have a lot. Who did Eastern Michigan play this year? Like, who's in their?
They're in the
conference?
MAC. They're in the MACtion. They play like other MAC schools, Mid-American.
Yeah, you don't hear about them a lot. You hear about San Jose State for basketball more.
Yeah. Okay, then we have, I don't even know if I'm going to say this right, Raton Bowl? Don't know.
Oh,
Uh,
the Boca Bowl.
yeah, that's
I'm going to Boca.
Toledo and Liberty. That was a
Don't have
three-point
much on
game.
this one either. Liberty has a new coach now, which is cool. They get the guy from Coastal, Jamie Chadwell, coached in that game. Yeah.
Then we
I don't
have
have a lot either. I mean, these
the,
are two pretty small schools.
yeah. Um, then the last game that has the final already out is the New Orleans Bowl, South Alabama versus Western Kentucky. I had South Alabama. I should have had WKU just because I know a guy on the team and I should have been supportive. But that was 44 to 23.
Tough break for USA. Don't have much. I love the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers mascot though. He's the red blob.
Wait,
Fun to
what?
watch.
Wait, what does he look like?
Look up the Western Kentucky mascot. It's hilarious.
Okay,
I
hold
can
on.
I'll put a picture up.
Yeah, no,
Um,
very funny mascot. And then we had tonight. That was earlier today, right?
yeah.
Oh yeah, he is just a blob. He is just a blob.
Then we get into the.
He looks like the old Burger King guy, the big purple dude. You know what I'm talking about? Or was that the McDonald's, like the Glooper?
Jackson, I know who
I have
yes.
no idea.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right? That big purple dude.
You're-
I don't know his name, but that's what that mascot looks like.
Yeah. Sam just disappeared.
I'm here. I'm still here. Still here. I was just
Oh,
checking to see if the Baylor game went final.
It did, yeah. Air
did
Force
it?
killed them 30-15.
And that was my respect the troops game of the year. I respected the troops and I won. Took a money line. If you didn't respect the troops, it's on you.
Well, sorry. At least I don't bet. All right.
Jackson, do you respect
Then,
the troops?
I do, yeah, but that was one of those games I know nothing about either. It's a tough one.
okay, so now we have all the ones that we're gonna kind of predict. Starting with the Independence Bowl.
Sam, you can go first. I got to take on this one.
Yeah. Can you give me the teams in this game?
Houston and Louisiana.
I'll take Houston. I like the coach of Houston, Dana Holgerson, score points. I'm going to take Houston 33, ULL 22.
I'm going to take Houston as well. And, yeah, that's all I really got. I feel like Houston's just going to outplay them just because they're a bigger, more well-known school that's more funded.
Yeah, I have Houston, but no real reason other than I looked up who both of them played. Then we have the Gasparilla Bowl, which is Wake Forest and Missouri.
Sam Hartman is playing in this game, I think, for Wake Forest. So I'm going to take Wake Forest. Mizzou is a very finicky team. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. And they've lost some really good players to the portal. Dominic Lovett just committed to Georgia. He was their best receiver this year. But they do have the best player on the field in the freshman wide receiver. His name has escaped me right now, but he's a dog. But I'm taking Wake Forest.
Who put in the document
I'm going to
true
take Mizzou in this
freshman who
game.
hooked up with one of my sister's friends?
Oh yeah, that's me. That's my sister goes to Mizzou. Her roommate hooked up with the kid I forget. Well, I don't know how I can't remember his name right now, but
Yeah, I'm gonna
Which the
take Mizzou because they put up that really good fight against Georgia this year, and they held Georgia
true.
into the second half, and then Georgia kind of came back. But I'll take Mizzou. If they've got any fight left in them.
I said
All
Wake
right,
Forest because Sam Hartman is beautiful, and that's
I
my
agree.
reason. All right. Then we have the Hawaii Bowl, San Diego State and Middle Tennessee.
Ooh, I like that. I like that game actually. The Hawaii Bowl. I like Hawaii.
I'll take Middle Tennessee State here. I feel like they're grittier. They did beat Miami in Miami this year, and I think they also beat Texas A&M. So they do show up for the big games, and also I feel like they'd just be happy to be in Hawaii. Where I feel like the San Diego people aren't appreciative of being on the beach. Where Middle Tennessee, I feel like I'd be way more happy to be at the beach if I'm from the middle of Tennessee.
See,
Yeah.
I don't think the same way. I think that Middle Tennessee has to travel farther, and that San Diego's used to that kind of like climate, so they're just going to be a better team there.
No, but they get to go early, and like it's like part vacation for them. So I think they're happy.
I don't know. I don't know if this
Yeah, I
these are
picked
two teams
San
that
Diego.
are going to take this game that seriously either. You know, I don't know if they're
No,
going
I
to
would
take
be
it that
completely
seriously.
liquored up in the pool by like noon the day before the game if I was playing in this game.
Not
But
only
that's also
that though,
why I
but
don't play college football.
these are two schools that like they're not huge like football schools necessarily, so I don't really know how serious they take it. But I would just take San Diego off the proximity and the location game.
Yeah.
All right.
Then we have the Quick Lane Bowl, Bowling Green and New Mexico State. I'm taking Bowling Green. I just know too many people there. I just have to.
I'm going to agree with you again on the weather. They're playing at Ford Field in Detroit, and New Mexico plays in the heat pretty much all year.
It's indoors though.
It is.
Mm,
Yeah, the Ford Field's an indoor game. I don't think anyone really wants to be there though. Like imagine you could have gone to Hawaii, but you have to go to Detroit.
It's indoor.
I've heard that you can't have shit in Detroit. So
Who does New Mexico State play like during the year?
they also beat Texas A&M.
New Mexico State beat Texas A&M. I'm going to take New Mexico State then.
But I feel like everybody
But
beat Texas A&M. Like I feel like any team that beat Texas A&M like isn't automatically going to win a bowl game.
yes, but in this bowl game, I'm taking New Mexico. Or I'm actually revoking a pick. I don't really care who wins this game. I'm not gonna watch it.
Let's go to the New Mexico State versus Texas A&M.
I can look it up.
So they beat Texas A&M. Oh, wait. Wait, this year? In 2022?
It might have been 2 years ago. I don't recall. But they're also the Aggies, and they had a better record than A&M. They're the only bowl eligible Aggies.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll stick with New Mexico State.
All right, next game.
Next is
The
yeah, with Georgia Southern and then the other team that doesn't really matter, Buffalo. But gotta. That's all I have to say.
Buffalo.
Gata. I love Georgia Southern.
UB.
The Georgia Southern is one of the best times I've ever had. I'm always rooting for Georgia Southern.
Yeah, me
Fan
too.
at heart. The Blue Room, one of my favorite places in the whole world.
They have all like the
I'll
country.
always ride for Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'll also take that as a weather game because Buffalo is usually
Jackson and I
cold.
had some fun in the Blue Room before.
Yeah, I'll take Georgia Southern as well as a weather game because Buffalo is used to playing up north in like the freezing cold and it's going to be hot. It's in Montgomery, Alabama.
Exactly. Can't agree more.
Yeah. Okay, then we have the First Responder Bowl, Memphis and Utah State. I'm taking Memphis, but I also don't really care about this bowl. So
don't care. I love the city of Memphis. I'm taking Memphis.
I also love Memphis. It's a great place to travel. I'm taking Memphis.
That's where you want to raise a family.
Okay, so I think that this is probably the best matchup for unranked teams. It's the Birmingham Bowl, Coastal
Yeah.
versus Eastern Carolina.
Coastal's quarterback and head coach have just left, so I'm taking ECU in this game. Chadwell's gone, and then Grayson McCall's also gone. So I don't know about ECU's like situation, like with like transfers, but I would take the team that didn't lose their two most important pieces.
Yeah.
I'm going to take ECU because I went to our when we played them last year in Greenville, and I mean they put up a pretty good fight against us. We only won by a field goal in that game, and I mean I feel like they kind of play like somewhat similar to SEC competition every once in a while. So I feel like they're up to that caliber. I'll take ECU as well.
Yeah,
Yep.
now that I know
Can't
that
agree
their
more.
quarterback and coach are gone, I'll probably have to say ECU. But at the beginning, I said Coastal just because they've always just been like a sneaky little top 25 team. But this year I feel like they haven't performed as well
Yeah,
as
they were really good.
Yeah.
That's why Jamie Chadwell, the coach, left to get a $3 million a year raise at Liberty.
Did they find a replacement head coach already? Who's the head coach now?
I think their offensive coordinators get called this game, be the head coach instead of interim.
I'll take ECU on that. That's the team in shambles.
All right, next.
Guaranteed rate bowl, Wisconsin and Oklahoma State. I'm taking the Badgers on this one.
Give me the Badgers. Oklahoma State has the most transfers in the portal right now. Like most guys leaving. Mike Gundy he's still a man, but he's not the man he used to be. Give me Wisconsin. They can just run the ball down their throat. Wisconsin all day.
I'm looking at Oklahoma State's schedule and the record this year. Yeah, I'll ride with that. I'll take Wisconsin as well. Oklahoma State lost 48-0 to Kansas State at one point in the season. Oklahoma's coming off a loss to West Virginia. Yeah, I'll take Wisconsin. I don't think Oklahoma State's got this one. Yeah, their record's pretty rough. They are high scoring though. Like they put up 41 points against UT Austin. But in recent games, I mean, the next game they got blown out by Kansas State, so they're really inconsistent. I'll take Wisconsin in this one.
But their quarterback, their senior quarterback, is now in the transfer portal and is not playing in this game. Spencer Sanders will not be playing.
Yeah, I'll take Wisconsin in this one. This seems like a Wisconsin bet. Where are they playing at? Arizona? Heat check for Wisconsin, but yeah, I'll take Wisconsin.
Yeah. All right, we have the Military Bowl next, which is UCF and Duke. I'm taking Central for this one.
I'm gonna fade you here and take Duke. They had a really good year. Their coaches like turned the program around pretty well. It'll be big for like momentum for them. And UCF has been on like a slide since the second half of the season, since they lost to Tulane. They've been downhill ever since. So give me Duke.
I'm going to fade that because UCF beat Tulane earlier in the season. They beat South Florida. UCF played some pretty good competition. I'll take UCF in this one if they bounce back off that Tulane loss.
All right.
Then we have
they
the
beat
Liberty
SMU
Bowl.
41-19.
And this one is Kansas versus AR Kansas. I hate Arkansas with a passion. Like, I just hate them. So, I don't even. This one, I don't really care regardless. But,
This is the first bowl game for Kansas in a long time. I think it's been like 14 or 15 years since they've been in a bowl game. I think it means more to them than it does to Arkansas. They did stink the second half of the season, but I'm taking Kansas.
This is an easy Arkansas for me. Arkansas almost beat LSU. They lost by a field goal. They lost to Mizzou by 2. They beat Auburn this year. I mean, they put up 26 points against Bama. They didn't have a bad season at all. They did lose to A&M earlier, but I'm going to take Arkansas on this one.
All right.
They also beat us 44 by 44 to 30 in the beginning of the year. So they're not a bad team if they pull it together, but yeah.
Would have had a better chance if like people weren't getting hurt. It was the beginning of the season. Like Spencer, it was our first like away game, I think, and like Spencer just wasn't synced up with the team at this point yet. I mean, he didn't really ever until the Tennessee game, but we'll talk about that. But I don't know.
All right.
Then we have the Holiday Bowl, Oregon versus UNC. I'm going with Oregon on this one. He told me that none of them actually care.
He's elite
About this bowl game. So I'm going to trust him on this one.
It's on the West Coast, too. It's on the West Coast. I feel like UNC doesn't travel well. They've been sliding the last part of their season. They're not going to win.
Yeah. And they
I'll ride with what you guys just said. I'm going Oregon.
Yeah.
They lost to Georgia Tech. You can't lose Georgia Tech and recover from that.
Yeah. Is it going to be that good? We'll see.
Drake May is going to be a top 5 pick in the draft next year, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's very good, but still.
Then we have the Texas Bowl, Ole Miss, Texas Tech. I'm gonna have to say Ole Miss.
In terms of do they want to be there, I don't think Ole Miss really wants to be there. They started off like 8 or 7-0 and then finished 8-4. I don't know. They slid the second half of the season. I don't know if I would take them. And also, like, Mike Leach, former great coach at Texas Tech, rest in peace. I think they win it for Mike Leach.
I'm going to take Texas Tech on it because they're off a 3-game winning streak. They just beat Kansas, Iowa State, and Oklahoma. And then the Oklahoma game was a shootout in overtime. I like Texas Tech plus the Texas Bowl. Why not? Take Texas Tech.
I like the over in this game, whatever it is.
Yeah, the last out of their, I mean, they played Kansas. It was 28-43. Oklahoma was 48-51. They're really high scoring.
Yeah, take the over.
Then we have the Pinstripe Bowl, Minnesota versus Syracuse.
Don't watch this game. This game's gonna suck.
Why?
Sean Tucker is out, the star running back. He's declared for the draft.
For who? Which team?
Syracuse.
Okay.
He was their entire offense. I don't like Syracuse. They're also about to lose their best recruit to South Carolina. He's going to flip on Friday. Lenore Sellers. So I'm not taking Syracuse or Minnesota. I hope this game ends in a 0-0 tie.
I'm going to take Minnesota based off the fact that Syracuse has only won one of their last 6 games. They lost to Florida State 38-3. They lost to Wake Forest. They lost to Clemson. They lost to Notre Dame. Downward trend all over.
They're kind of a clown school.
Yeah, downward trend in the late half of the season, definitely. They started out really hot, but they just did not finish well.
Yep.
Yeah. Then a fun one, the Cheez-It Bowl. FSU, go Noles. I just wish that we would have been playing them, but still go Noles over Oklahoma.
Who are they playing against?
Oklahoma.
Oh, give me Florida State. Mike Norvell turned the program around at Florida State. and Oklahoma was having a terrible season. So give me Florida State.
I'll take Florida State and Florida as well. They're ranked 13. That's enough for me.
Yeah. Then we have the Alamo Bowl, Washington, Texas. I don't know about this one.
Yeah, this is a tight one because Texas is ranked 20.
This is like the overrated bowl. I feel like these teams both were supposed to be really good this year and just weren't. Michael Penix Jr., the quarterback for Washington, is pretty good and he's playing for one more year. But, like, I don't know. I don't think either of these teams really care about the Alamo. I don't think they remember the Alamo. I don't know. This game kind of sucks, but give me Washington.
I'm gonna take
the under.
I'm gonna take Texas in Texas. I'm sure it's a lot of local hometown guys who want to win it for home.
They want to remember the Alamo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said Washington on this one, but I feel like Texas does have like a home advantage on this. All right, then we have
I like
the
this
Duke's
next one.
Fuck Maryland.
No, I'm like an NC State hater, so I'm going with Maryland on this.
I don't like Maryland. They try and steal our recruits. Not a fan. I'll take NC State.
I'm going to take NC State because they had a tough schedule when they competed, and they're ranked 23. I'm going to take NC State in North Carolina where they're playing.
Then we have the Sun Bowl. I've got UCLA over Pitt for this one.
Yeah, give me UCLA. They're good.
Who does UCLA like? Do they play like good competition? No, that's my only worry. Is like because even though Pitt might not have the best record, Pitt plays like some tough competition.
I mean, it's Pac-12 versus ACC. Both those conferences kind of sucked this year, but I think the Pac-12 was better, so that's why I'm taking UCLA. I think they're like a 7 or 8 point favorite.
I honestly think this game's. I feel like these two teams are like kind of like close. But yeah, I'll go UCLA as well. I just have a feeling this game's gonna be close for some reason, just because they're kind of like both like middle of the pack teams and they're like conferences. So,
all right.
Well, I also feel like UCLA, like with getting that new, like, that quarterback just signed. Like, I feel like they have something to play for a little bit.
Yeah, Dante Moore.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I'm taking UCLA.
Yeah. The most important bowl game, the Gator Bowl, South Carolina by 90.
yes, sir.
Over that other team full of green and ginger tiny guys.
The thing with Notre Dame is a lot of guys declared for the draft already. Like Mayer's, their star tight end's not playing. He'll be a top 20 pick. They're losing a lot of guys. But I think they are just a better, like, they have better players than we do. So I think it'll be a close game, but I think we want to be there more. So that's why I'm taking us. I feel like in the bowl games, especially not like the big ones, who wants to be there is the biggest factor. Like who's actually trying. I think you can speak to this better than I can, Marissa, but I think we care a little bit more than they do.
Yeah, and I think just
I'll definitely take South Carolina too. We're on a hot streak.
From when, like, right before the Tennessee game, when we weren't predicted to win any more games, we were predicted to go back to the Mayo Bowl or to go to Vegas. Like, Spencer was basically like, fuck no, that's not happening. And he showed up and he performed how he was supposed to perform when he came in to South Carolina. And, like, the guys are kind of excited to be in Jacksonville just because there is something that they can do there. Like, they have fun activities planned. Like, they're gonna be at the beach, even though it's nicer than pretty much anywhere else right now. But I don't know. And it's just like Notre Dame beat Clemson. So, like, obviously our guys are gonna want to beat Notre Dame to just be like, we are elite. But
we're coming off the hot streak too. Like Rattler's playing so well.
Yeah. I think the only like
And Rattler's
downside,
playing for draft stock right now.
yeah. Well, the only downside with our team right now is that Bell is with FSU now. Marshawn's in the transfer. Cam Smith isn't playing. Zach Pickens isn't playing. Darius isn't playing. Darius Rush.
We have no running backs. No, I don't think we have a running game, but I think just feed Juice Wells and Josh Van and let DeCarry and Joyner get more involved, and we'll be fine.
I think we're also just biased like South Carolina students, but I just feel like somehow like we just want it more.
Well, there's so many people traveling.
Like I don't know. That's just me though. Especially coming up.
Yeah, it's gonna be a home game for us.
Yeah, it's gonna be. And also just coming off the last two games, like we do have something to prove because we weren't that at the beginning of the season at all. So.
All right, so this is the Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl. Barstool's first bowl game that they just got, Ohio versus Wyoming. I'm going to go with Ohio, even though I feel like Wyoming has more of a home stance advantage. I feel like no one's going to go.
I don't think these teams care, but I will be vivaing the whole game. Big Cat singing the national anthem. I don't care, though. I'm not going to watch this game because South Carolina will be on the TV instead.
I'm going to take Ohio, like you said.
I just feel like this one, like, the only reason
is a good one, the next one.
Is, like, if they expect people from Barstool to be there. That's really the only reason that I see people going.
And they will.
I like this next game a lot.
Yeah, this one's a good one. This one's a fun one. The Orange Bowl. So first we have the team that lost to USC, Tennessee, and then the other team that lost to USC, Clemson. So in all actuality, I'm going to take Tennessee on this one just because as a South Carolina fan, I can never support Clemson, and I never will, even if I lose.
Joe Milton, who's playing for Tennessee, is playing for his job next year, so I think he cares. And I mean, the only problem though is Tennessee's program is not built on God's name, image, and likeness, like Dabo said yesterday. So it's hard rooting against Jesus Christ himself and Dabo Sweeney, but give me Tennessee.
I'm taking Tennessee as well. They killed Bama. That was a great game. They're just a better team overall, I believe.
Yeah. Well, even with like Jalen Hyatt being out, I feel like they still are going to be able to perform.
Yeah, and Tillman's not playing either for them, but it doesn't really matter. Give me Tennessee.
Yeah. Then we have the Fiesta Bowl. Michigan, TCU. I would love for TCU to be in just because they're mascot and just because of like how much smaller of a team they are, but I'm gonna have to say Michigan, go Big Blue.
Yeah, Michigan's winning this game.
I like Michigan too. They're a wagon.
They're a wagon this year. I saw them play Ohio State and that beat the brakes off them. I was there. Michigan's winning.
Yeah, Michigan also. I would say Michigan, Penn State game, and Michigan just ran through them. I think they're just a better team.
Yeah. All right, then we have the Peach Bowl. UGA, Ohio State. UGA is obviously going to win. We also have the home advantage. Pretty much all of us are either going to Atlanta, even if we don't support Georgia. We're either going to Atlanta or we're going to Athens. It's New Year's Eve. I'm going to Athens personally, and I just know that like the team's going to come back and be like literally praised. So I'm just hoping that they actually pull through, but I know they're gonna.
Oh wait, is a home game for Georgia?
Yeah, it's at Mercedes-Benz.
It's at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, so yeah.
Oh, so it's a home game. Georgia's whomping them.
I'm also taking Georgia. That's an easy one. I think Georgia. It's going to be Georgia-Michigan in the final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I think Georgia wins the whole thing too.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I mean, Stetson Bennett, like, going from being a walk-on to this is just like him winning back. Like, if he were to win back-to-back, like, crazy.
Yeah, he's very good at football.
Yeah. Then we have Music City Bowl, Iowa versus Kentucky. I know, again, we were predicted for this one. Our boys did not want to be here, so they beat Clemson. I actually have Iowa on this one over Kentucky just because they lost to Vanderbilt. They've not been performing too well this last half of the season.
Yeah, and Will Levis isn't playing. They're starting quarterback for Kentucky, but also the Iowa quarterback isn't playing. Spencer Petras is out. Iowa's defense is just really good every single year. So give me Iowa, but this is going to be a really hard to watch game. If you're trying to enjoy good football, I wouldn't recommend this game. Iowa's hard to watch, but give me Iowa and the under.
I'm gonna go Kentucky just because they played against Georgia. It was 16-6. They did get killed by Tennessee, but definitely not consistent. But I'll take Kentucky in this one.
All right.
Then Jackson, this one's for you. The Sugar Bowl, Kansas State versus Alabama. I have Kansas State just because I hate Alabama. So
I love it.
Are you riding Kansas State, Jackson, or no?
I'm riding Kansas State to the grave. I like Kansas State. I mean, they just killed the last 2 games, and they've just been an underdog. And I don't like Bama. I hate Bama, so I'll take Kansas State any day.
I'm taking Alabama. I'm not going to pick against Nick Saban. He's a great motivator. He's going to get his team ready to play. And Bryce Young is playing in this game, so give me Nick Saban and Alabama.
all right, then we have the Relay Quest. I don't know. That bowl. Mississippi State.
The Outback Bowl. Outback Bowl. It's in Tampa.
Mississippi State and Illinois.
Win it for Mike Leach. Mississippi State's going to win this game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I feel like Illinois...
It doesn't matter who they're playing. Mississippi State's not going to lose this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing Illinois. I'm also going to take Mississippi because of the coach.
Yeah, Mississippi State's not losing this game after their coach literally just passed away. So,
yeah, Mississippi State all the way through.
Last 3: Citrus Bowl, LSU, Purdue. I got LSU in this one.
Yeah, give me LSU. Their Daniels is coming back and playing in this game. Give me LSU.
I'm not going to touch who's going to win, but I'm going to take the under because Purdue is usually really low scoring.
I think with that one, it's more just a SEC thing. Usually I'll always support an SEC team unless it's Alabama or unless I know more people on the other team. But then we have the Cotton Bowl, Tulane, USC. I've got Tulane, roll waves.
I like Tulane a lot. I love Tulane, but USC was really, really strong in the beginning of the season. I kind of don't really know if they fell off or not, but I'm going to take USC. Sam, is USC's quarterback still playing?
Caleb Williams?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very good, but...
He just won the Heisman?
Yeah, no, give me USC. This is a pretty obvious choice.
Yeah, I'm going to take USC in this one.
Tulane is more of just like a friend decision, but I think the advantage that USC has with this one is that Caleb Williams did just win a Heisman, so they're gonna have to show up and show out on this one.
Yeah, they have the best player in the country on their team. Like,
Yeah, as long
I
as
would
that
not.
as long as that doesn't go to his head, I'm definitely gonna take USC.
Yeah. I don't really
Then
think Tulane can get to someone's head.
the final one before the Natty is the Rose Bowl, Penn State, Utah. I've got Penn State on this one.
Utah's so good. They just have a tough football team. I don't see them losing this game. Penn State didn't play nobody this year. They lost to Ohio State and Michigan badly both times. Give me Utah.
I'm gonna have to say
I
Utah
think,
because it's out west and it's in California.
yeah. Well, I think when I looked at it and did all of my things, they were one team where I'm like, this could be an upset. Because Utah is predicted by pretty much everyone. But I was like, I could see Penn State putting up a little bit of a fight.
Yeah, no. So if Utah kind of goes in overly confident, I could see Penn State putting up a fight too.
Yeah, no. There's a reason everyone's picking Utah. It's because of the better team in this matchup, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then the Natty's in California.
Yeah.
Now
So,
the Natty, Georgia, go Dogs.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Georgia, Michigan, and it's probably gonna be closer than we think. But I think Georgia's gonna pull it out. If Georgia gets
No.
upset, that would be crazy. But I think Georgia's gonna pull this one out.
I think that last year,
I would heavily side with.
well, last year with Georgia and Michigan playing, Georgia just completely ran them. So I think it's going to be the same thing.
Yeah, nope. I can't agree more. I think that this is not going to be an exciting playoff. I think Georgia's just going to roll everybody. Michigan's really good. They had a great year, but I just don't think they don't have enough dudes to play with Georgia.
But also with everybody just favoring Georgia, I don't know what it's like in the locker room, but Georgia just might be thinking that it's going to be easy because of what the playoffs look like this year. They didn't really have any. There's not true competition in that way. So the only thing I could think that Georgia might lose is because they're going in overconfident and the other team just wants it more.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only way I see them losing.
Yeah.
If they play like they did versus Mizzou, maybe they lose. But
yeah, if they just come out soft and if Michigan came out really hot, that's the only way. I honestly think it's going to be closer than we think, but Georgia holds it out.
All right. Thank you for having us on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
This was really nice.
Thanks for coming on.